Hi guys and welcome back to the Mighty Blues. My name is of course Cameron and welcome back today to another live stream. It is the game preview. Everton taking on QPR, Queen's Park Rangers in the third round of the Carabao Cup. Tomorrow evening, 7:45 kick-off for Rafa Benitez's Everton side as they travel down to London to face a QPR side that currently sit 8th in the Championship after 8 games played, 3 wins, 3 draws and 2 losses. They beat Oxford in the second round of the competition. Of course, Everton were successful against Huddersfield Town in the second round as well. 10-men Everton managing to get through against Huddersfield away from home. And going into what is another difficult fixture for Everton tomorrow, QPR the side, like I said, Championship side. Obviously, only 8 games played in the Championship so far, but currently sitting around 8th. Couple of wins, few wins, few draws, and a couple of losses as well. Pretty decent start to the season. Made a couple of decent signings in the summer as well, bringing in the likes of Andre Gray from Watford into the club. It was a good acquisition. Obviously, we know they've already got the likes of Charlie Austin, experienced Premier League striker, obviously playing for them, played for QPR in the Premier League before, I believe. So this is definitely going to be a difficult test for Rafa Benitez's Everton side, even more so given the fact that, as I said before on the game review to the Aston Villa game, Rafa Benitez has got a couple of decisions to make ahead of this game in regards to the fitness of his squad, whether or not he takes certain players out, whether or not he keeps certain players in, because we've got nobody else to really replace them with. There's certainly a lot of decisions for the Everton manager to make ahead of this fixture. But one thing's for sure, as whenever we talk about these cup fixtures, whether it be the Carabao Cup, the FA Cup, you know, the message should remain the same, in the dressing room. And I think the message remains the same throughout Evertonians as well. And that is, of course, that we want to do as well as we possibly can in the cup competitions every single season. And by that, it means we want to win the cup competitions. I've said it on a number of occasions before on this channel, and I'll say it again. Everton simply aren't a club that are in a position to just throw away, cup competitions. And I get that at this current point it would be very easy for Rafa Benitez to play, a lot of them, maybe the under-23s, or change the side about a lot because obviously of fitness issues and injuries and stuff to the first team, and obviously a big game against Norwich to be played on Saturday afternoon as well. However, as a football club, I really don't think Everton are in a position to just throw away this cup competition. I want Everton to win every single competition that we're a part of, and the more realistic competitions to win are the Carabao Cup and the FA Cup, of course. So I'd like to hope that Everton go out and put a strong team out tomorrow, with the intent of winning this game. And I would like to hope that Everton's intent throughout the course of this competition is to get to the final and ultimately to win it, because like I said, we haven't won a trophy in my lifetime. What has it been now? 25, 26 years. We've been starved of success. So we're seriously not in a position to just say, oh, it's only QPR, whatever, we'll throw the under-23s out there. We're not that bothered about this competition. We should be absolutely bothered about it. And like I said, the message should be to go out and perform at the highest level in every cup game that we play in, with the I suppose with the goal of winning every game that we play in as well, and certainly in the cup competitions, because like I said, the Carabao Cup, although Manchester City seem to win it every year, the Carabao Cup is a really good opportunity to get some silverware. And again, this will be a difficult game tomorrow, no doubt about that. Of course it'll be a difficult game, but it's certainly a game that Everton should be more than good enough to go out and win, even with the injury issues and even with the issues with players out in the squad. I suppose the big question is whether Rafa Benitez will change the team or not from the side, obviously, that lost to Aston Villa at the weekend. I'm sure there'll be some changes, but will the likes of Damari Gray come out? Will the likes of Andros Townsend, Abdoulaye Doucouré, Alan, will we see those players feature tomorrow? Well, I suppose the big question is, if those players don't feature, then who comes in to replace them? It's not like we're sitting here with a 26, 27 man squad full of top quality players who could get their opportunity tomorrow. We're sitting here with a very thin squad. Not a lot of squad depth whatsoever, and of course, 4 or 5 injuries to key players in the team. So, will Rafa Benitez put as strong a team out as possible and just sort of hope that, you know, every player gets through tomorrow with no issue and then, of course, can play against Norwich at the weekend? Or will he make some changes to, you know, try and give certain players a rest? Obviously after that defeat to Aston Villa. We'll wait and see. Of course, I just want to apologise about the lines on my face. I've got an issue with my blinds. My blinds are completely broken in my room, so when the sun comes out, it's extremely difficult to try and block it out at the moment. So I'm just made up that it's not in my eyes, so I can actually look at the camera and I can actually read the comments, but you will see lines down my face and body throughout this video because the sun's out and I can't do anything about it. I can't tell it to go away, and unfortunately my blinds are broken at the moment, so I can't sort them out either. So you'll just have to put up with it. There's a game of footy to be played tomorrow and we have to sit down to talk about it, so you'll just have to put up with it. But like I said, tough game against QPR. Tough game against QPR. Obviously once a Premier League side. I remember them being in the Premier League and sort of almost attempting to do what Manchester City did in 2008 really. I remember them spending absolute ridiculous amounts of money. They had Loic Remy for a few seasons, didn't they, who come in, and there was, you know, that I remember there being a general consensus surrounding football fans at one point that QPR would be a real challenger for European football and maybe even Champions League football. They were spending a ridiculous amount of money. They were bought in by a new owner, spent a ridiculous amount of money, and unfortunately for QPR, it didn't quite work in the same way as that it worked for Manchester City. So obviously they were having to sell players and try and recoup some of that money, and of course that ended up unfortunately for them in being relegated and being knocked back down to the Championship. And they're a club that will try and fight their way back up to the Premier League every single season, and like I said, again, currently sitting 8th. Got some real top talented players that have played a lot of Premier League football before, players that will be experienced, and players that will come into this game against Everton tomorrow and won't be afraid to throw their weight about, won't be afraid to go in heavy on the challenges, won't be afraid to make the game physical and make it difficult and make it a test for Everton. The likes of Andre Gray, the likes of Charlie Austin, as we mentioned, and this is my sort of biggest worry going into this game, I suppose, is that will Everton be able to deal with the physicality of a QPR tomorrow? Certainly given the fact that, like I said, we've already got 3, 4, 5 big injuries to key members of the squad. Will we be able to go out there and put up a physical battle and come out of it sort of injury free and fitness free, especially given with that we've got a big game against Norwich at the weekend? That is my biggest worry. We really didn't need this game this week. We really didn't need it. Like I said about the Aston Villa game, we already knew that was going to be a tough test, and then when you find out that Richarlison's picked up an injury and Jordan Pickford's picked up an injury and Seamus Coleman's picked up an injury, it makes what is already a difficult test an even harder test, a much more difficult test. And if there was ever a week that we really didn't need a cup game in, if there was ever a week where we really didn't need a midweek game, it was this week. It would have been nice for the players to have been able to go away, obviously pick themselves up after the defeat, get a little bit of a rest, and then bounce back next weekend against Norwich. But unfortunately, that isn't the case. That isn't the case. There's a game of football to be played, and like I said, a game of football that Everton should be thinking about going out and winning. Or first and foremost, it's about the result. First and foremost, it's about going out there and getting the win and being in the half for the next round. Who knows who we'll get in the next round? Could be a Premier League tie, could be another Championship club. But one thing's for sure is this will be a physical game. So let's have a look at QPR's results since their last Carabao Cup fixture. So as I mentioned before, they beat Oxford 2-0 in the second round of the Carabao Cup. That was all of those weeks ago, obviously in the same week that Everton beat Huddersfield. They then beat Coventry at home 2-0 in the Championship, and then they went on a little bit of a sort of a stalemate streak, drawing with Reading 3-3 away from home, which was quite an electric game of football. And then their last two, they lost to Bournemouth 2-1 away, and more recently lost to Bristol at home by 2-1. So they're in a bit of a sort of a sticky patch at the moment. QPR not winning in their last 3 games, obviously a draw and 2 defeats as well. Those 2 defeats that we mentioned at the start coming in their last 2 Championship games, knocking them down the table a little bit. So they'll be looking to bounce back. They'll be looking to turn up tomorrow and to impress against the Premier League side in front of their home crowd ultimately, and Everton have to be aware of that. And Everton have to ensure that QPR aren't able to do that effectively. Like we mentioned, Charlie Austin, Sam McCallum as well, Stefan Johansson, Andre Gray, Jimmy Dunn. A lot of talented players that are more than capable of hurting Everton if we don't turn up and like I said, show our quality. And I think that's what's most important for us tomorrow is showing our quality, turning up and showing our ability as a Premier League side. We've got a, one would say, wafer thin squad at the moment, because of injuries and because of fitness issues. And it's not like we're in December, January, February, March, May. We're in, we're still in September. We're only 4 or 5 games into a Premier League season, 2 cup games, 2 Carabao Cup games. We haven't even kicked the ball in the FA Cup, and we've already got 4 or 5 key players out injured. So we really don't need any other injuries, and we really don't need any other fitness issues. Obviously, there's a lot of rumours today surrounding James Rodriguez and his future, whether or not he'll be an Everton player past today or this week. We'll wait and see on that one. But one thing's for sure, and that is that, again, we seriously don't need any other injuries. We really don't need, any other problems within the squad. And I worry that QPR will sort of realise that. And like I said, make this a physical battle for Everton tomorrow. And if they do make it a physical battle, then ultimately Everton have got to be able to stand up and participate in that physical battle. Everton have ultimately got to be able to, like I said, to give as much as to give as much as they receive, basically, but also to show our quality. Everton's quality should be more than enough to beat QPR tomorrow. Again, decent championship side, obviously currently sitting 8th in the championship, but the ability of Everton's squad and the quality of Everton's side should be more than good enough to be able to go there and pick up all 3 points. Not all 3 points, pick up the win and be in the half of the next round, you know what I mean? As I said, it'll be interesting to see what Rafa Benitez does in regards to the squad, whether he decides to rest certain players or whether he just puts as strong a squad out as possible, and hopes that those players that play are recuperated and recovered and fit enough to play against Norwich at the weekend as well. We'll wait and see, but it'll certainly be a test, certainly be a difficult test for Everton, and one that I'm sure we're all excited and can't wait to watch tomorrow evening. Let's get into the live comments then before we go into my predicted starting 11 ahead of this game. If you're enjoying, by the way, please hit that like button. It does only take a second, and if you're new to the channel, don't forget to subscribe as well. That would mean an absolutely brilliant amount to me. As I said, already done 2 streams today. We've done the stream talking about James Rodriguez and his future. If you haven't checked that one out, please do so after this live stream. And we also done the game review to Everton's 3-0 defeat to Aston Villa. So if you want to relive that, not sure why you would, but if you want to hear me talking a little bit about it and give my opinions on it, then please do go and check that one out as well. And also, don't forget to subscribe, because we'll be back tomorrow evening with the instant match reaction, the player ratings, all of the post-game content after this one. So don't forget to subscribe to keep up to date with all of that. Will says, alright, Cam, mate. Alright, Will, hope you're doing well, my mate. Hernandez says, how hopeful are you to make a run in this tournament with such a thin squad? I'm hopeful. Am I confident? Yeah, I am. Look, I think tomorrow will be difficult. I do. I think tomorrow will be difficult. I think Everton will win the game. Ultimately, what Rafa Benitez has to do tomorrow is manage this game perfectly. I think he actually done a really good job, and I said this in the review to the Villa game. I think he done a really good job in the first 45 minutes of managing the game on Saturday. I think, we made it difficult for Aston Villa. I think we were getting forward, we were creating chances, as were Aston Villa, to be fair. They had their fair share of opportunities, but Everton were getting forward and creating chances and really, again, like I said, managing the game well, considering the injuries that we had, considering we were lacking, or we'd lost, obviously, a couple of really big players, the likes of Jordan Pickford, Richarlison, Seamus Coleman, obviously Dominic Calvert-Lewin not involved, and we know he's picked up an injury. So, considering the injuries that we had and the fitness issues that we had, I actually think Everton managed the game really well on Saturday, up until the point where we conceded the 3rd goal, and then it all just sort of went up in the air, really, didn't it? It all fell to bits from there. So I am hopeful that Rafa Benitez will be able to manage this game tomorrow in a very similar fashion, to be honest with you. It'll be difficult, it'll be physical. QPR will understand that Everton have had issues with, injuries and fitness, and they'll be straight at us from the start and try to make it physical. However, I'm hoping that, the manager's ability to manage games of football, pulls through, and whoever comes into the squad, for tomorrow's game. I'm hoping that they're more than up for that physical battle and up, bring enough quality to be able to beat this QPR side. Sean says, tough game, QPR away, must play James. I highly doubt James Rodriguez will be available tomorrow, considering he's in Qatar now, I believe. Negotiating a move with a club over there. I highly doubt he will be available for tomorrow's game. Gord says, crazy to think James never gonna play at a Pat Goodison. It is, mate. It's quite sad, to be fair. It is quite sad, but there you go. It is what it is. Stephen says, I'd make Delph play. Tell him to earn his wage. Well, if he's injured, he's not going to play, is he? Ariel says Carabao Cup in Europe is top priority. Yeah, I would agree. Paul Lennon says, yes, Cam. Yes, my mate. Dennis says, Chinese League collapsing. Interesting. Stephen Evans says, Mina, Alan, Decore, Gray need a rest. Massive game against Norwich. Yeah, I would agree, but will they get a rest? Ultimately, if all of those players come out, who comes in to replace them? Will they be able to get a rest? Is there enough players in the squad, that can come in and replace those players? Jason said, we need to have a good cup run. It's hard to believe we haven't won a cup since 1995. Still remember Rideout's header. I know I've spelled his name wrong. It is hard to believe. I've never witnessed Everton win a trophy in my lifetime. It's horrible. It's not just hard, it's horrible. If you're enjoying, by the way, please hit that big thumbs up button. It only takes a second. Sean says, Rideout versus Man United. I can remember it clearly. Big John Rule was our manager. Jason says, would you play Andy Lonergan? Could you risk Asmir Begovic in case you got injured and pick this one back for Saturday? But we're going to do our predicted starting 11 in a moment, and you'll find out who I predict will start in goal. But I get where you're coming from. Saul says, wouldn't rest too many. Think it's a tougher challenge than Norwich will be. I think Dean needs a rest. Apart from that, I don't think we can afford excessive rotation. Maybe Davis for Alan. Fair enough. Joe says, got such a bad bench. We'll probably have to play our best team, bar maybe bring in Davis, Gomez, maybe Gordon. Holgate, Kenny will play too, I imagine. Yeah. Stevie Lamb, what's happening, Stevie? He says, alright, young Cameron, not a great record at Loftus Road over the years. Yeah, you're right. You're right, Steve. We haven't got a great record at Loftus Road at all. So this one will certainly be a tough game. Like I said, I've got no doubts that QPR will make this one an extremely tough fixture for Everton. Let's not get it twisted. QPR aren't going to turn up and roll over for Everton. They're not going to turn up and roll over on their bellies and say, yeah, you're the Premier League side, you can win this game dead easily, we've got no issue with that. They're going to be coming to make it physical. They'll understand that Everton have got a better quality of player, better quality of players in this squad. They'll understand that this Everton team is a Premier League side that, have aspirations of challenging for European football this season. So they'll play to their strengths and try and expose Everton's weaknesses. And at the moment, as we spoke about with the Aston Villa defeat, Everton's weaknesses at the moment is that we gift goals to opposition teams. Every goal we seem to be conceding is A, completely avoidable, and B, is through our own error. It's not a world-class strike from 35 yards. It's not an amazing bit of play by the opposition team. It's an individual mistake by a player in a blue shirt. And that's not good enough, and QPR will understand that and think, right, we can target Everton and we can expose that. Wayme says Kenny probably plays Godfrey left back, maybe. I do not want to see Delph at left back, says Wayme. Here you go. Ariel says, I would like to see Kabam in the starting 11. We don't know whether he's fit or not. We know that he obviously didn't feature on Saturday because he felt a little bit of discomfort in training and didn't want to risk it. Maybe that is because he will be featuring tomorrow. Who knows? We'll wait and see. As Amir King says, Everton is right, my mate. God says, bad results in the weekend for Everton, but Minnesota got that result 3-0 over Galaxy thanks to Reynoso brace from outside the box. Is right, mate. Happy days. Big up Minnesota. Got a video coming up this week about Minnesota, so look out for that one. Me and Gord sat down and talked a bit more. Philip says, even and all is right and last of the Canadian says, would like to see Ellis Sims get a run out, seeing how we're short on strikers. Yeah, interesting. Well, let's get into my predicted starting 11 anyway, ahead of this one, because I think it's going to be a really, really interesting one. In goal, I have gone for Asmir Begovic. Now, there is shouts, of course, for Andy Lonergan to start and for Andy Lonergan to feature. Obviously, Asmir Begovic come in to be the backup to Jordan Pickford, and if Jordan Pickford was fit, I don't think there'd be any discussion surrounding who starts in goal tomorrow. I think it will be Asmir Begovic because he's likely to be our cup goalkeeper, if you like. Obviously, Jordan's picked up a knock, so at the moment, Asmir Begovic is our number one, starting in the Premier League, of course, against Aston Villa on Saturday, and will potentially start against Norwich at the weekend as well, because it looks like will start against Norwich at the weekend because it looks like Jordan will still be out. So does that mean that Andy Lonergan then becomes the cup goalkeeper, then becomes the number 2 and gets in? I don't think it does. I think Rafa Benitez will use this game to allow Asmir Begovic to get more game time under his belt, try and sort of, shuffle off some of the mistakes that he made at the weekend and give him a little bit more game time and confidence ahead of the game against Norwich, which is a massive, massive game at Goodison Park on Saturday. So I'm going for Asmir Begovic in goal. In the back line then, left back, I've gone for Luca Dean. Look, this would be a perfect opportunity for Luca Dean to have been taken out of the team, given a little bit of a rest, told, do you know what, rest up, recuperate. You didn't have a great game the other day, made a couple of mistakes. Get your fitness back up, get your confidence back up, and you're back in the starting 11 against Norwich at the weekend. However, I just don't think that's who comes in for Luca Dean effectively. If Luca Dean comes out, who comes in to replace him? And that's the issue that Everton have currently got at the moment. Niles Nkunku is out on loan at Standard Liège. Obviously, we know Thierry Smalls left the football club. Fabian Delph isn't fit. Even if he was fit, I wouldn't want him there. Ben Godfrey isn't 100% fit, so I'm not confident with him playing at left back, even though we know he can. So the big question is, if Luca Dean is to come out, who's to come back in? I've seen a lot of stuff about Gbamin in the comments, by the way. I don't think Gbamin's injured again. I think basically he felt maybe a little bit of discomfort in training last week, and therefore asked to, he wasn't a part of the squad against Aston Villa, was he? Because he wanted to make sure that it wasn't anything serious and rest up. So you may well see Jean-Philippe Gbamin tomorrow. I don't think he's picked up another injury. I certainly haven't read anything that he's picked up another injury. It was just a fact that he wasn't ready to be a part of the squad on Saturday against Villa. Anyway, so yeah, look, Luca Dean. There's not many other options, is there really? There's not many other options. If Luca Dean comes out, who goes in to replace him? And maybe tomorrow will be a perfect opportunity for Luca Dean to sort of shake off his mistakes that he made against Aston Villa, and put a good performance in. Maybe get a goal, maybe an assist, and obviously forget that game against Aston Villa, build a bit of confidence back up, and then obviously go again against Norwich at the weekend. Maybe that's the thinking of the manager if he starts. I don't know. However, we haven't got many other options, have we? If you're enjoying, by the way, please hit that big thumbs up button. It only takes a second, and if you're new, don't forget to subscribe. Why not? It only takes a second as well. Centre backs then, I'm going for Mason Holgate and Michael Keane. Not my favourite centre-back partnership, if I'm being honest with you. I think Yerry Mina will be taken out and will be rested ahead of the Norwich game, and rightly so, to be honest with you, because I don't think Yerry Mina will be able to play tomorrow evening and against Norwich on Saturday, and Yerry Mina has to play against Norwich on Saturday because he's our best defender. Maybe Ben Godfrey would go in there potentially, but again, I think Ben Godfrey will likely be rested as well. Obviously played right back on Saturday against Villa. Done okay at right back, done okay for the first half. Obviously massively exposed positionally in the second half of the third goal, so not sure Ben Godfrey will start. Jared Branthwaite's in there as well, but playing Jared Branthwaite and Mason Holgate together is, for me, a very inexperienced back line. And for as much as I'm not a massive fan of Mason Holgate and Michael Keane as a partnership, because I think they make far too many mistakes, I do think Mason will start this game. And to be fair, I've got no issue with that. Be a good opportunity for Mason to get out there and hopefully put in a good performance and show the manager why he should be in contention of playing Premier League games. And like I said, we've literally gone through all of the other options, who partners him. We'll put it this way, it's either Michael Keane, Yerry Mina and Ben Godfrey. Yerry Mina, if he plays tomorrow, almost certainly won't play against Norwich, which is nonsense because he has to play against Norwich. And Ben Godfrey isn't at that level of fitness to play 2 games in 1 week yet for me, and I'd rather Ben Godfrey be available against Norwich than Michael Keane personally. So I've gone with Michael Keane and Mason Holgate in the centre of defence. I've gone with John Joe Kenny at right back. Again, look, who knows what the future holds for John Joe Kenny. I don't think his future's at Everton, to be honest with you. I think the weekend proved that the manager very, very clearly doesn't think he's good enough to be a replacement for Seamus Coleman, because the manager decided to play an unfit centre-back out of position as opposed to John Joe Kenny in his natural position at right-back. However, I do think John Joe will get this opportunity tomorrow. I think he'll be in there, hopefully show his ability, hopefully show his quality against the Championship side. And yeah, we'll wait and see. So I've gone with John Joe Kenny at right back. In the centre of the midfield, I've gone with Tom Davies and Andre Gomez. Not a lot of pace in there, but I just feel that Abdoulaye Doucouré and Alan will both be rested ahead of this one. Maybe Gbamin will be in there if he's managed to, again, like I said, if he's at that level of fitness that the manager deems, capable of starting a game and playing 90 minutes. Maybe Jean-Philippe Gbamin will be in there next to Tom Davies. Maybe Rafa Benitez will just go with Abdoulaye Doucouré and say, listen, Dukes, you're going to have to play 2 games in 1 week or 3 games in 1 week even. And maybe that's who we'll see partnering Tom Davies. I do think Tom will get a start, and again, I've got no issue with that. I'm happy with that. Hopefully Tom can show his ability to the manager and show why he should be in contention of playing in the Premier League. And I just have this feeling Andre Gomez will play. I really, really do. I think he's done well when he's come on at times this season. Obviously, he done well when he come against Huddersfield. So again, I've just got this feeling Andre Gomez will start. So I've gone with Tom Davies and Andre Gomez in the midfield. I've gone with Alex Iwobi ahead of them in the number 10 role. Played really well against Huddersfield in the last round, of course. Scored a goal as well, really good goal. So I'd like to see Alex Iwobi back in there. Played a lot of Premier League football so far this season. Done well when he's played. However, again, it'd be nice to see him sort of hit the ground running and properly start to show his quality and how big of an impact he can have on this team. And then a front three, I've gone with Anthony Gordon on the left. I do think Anthony Gordon will get a start, to be honest with you. I think Andros Townsend will be rested for this one, ahead obviously of Norwich at the weekend. And again, big chance for Anthony Gordon, big chance for Anthony Gordon to go out there and show the manager why he should be in contention of playing Premier League games. Hopefully he can go out and, like I said, get a goal, get an assist, show his quality, show his ability against a Championship side. I've gone with Damari Gray on the right. For as much as I would like Damari Gray to be rested, we haven't really got any other option, have we, to be honest with you? It's not like we're sitting here, like I said, on a squad of 25, 26 players and we've got loads of room to be able to rotate players. We haven't. So I think Damari Gray will start, and hopefully Damari Gray will get the team up and running and be at a point where, we're 2-3-0 up, 60, 70 minutes gone, and he can come off and have a little bit of a rest ahead of Norwich at the weekend. And then I have gone with Solomon Rondon up front. I know there's a lot of talk about Ellis Sims at the moment. I know there's a couple of other young lads, obviously Charlie Whittaker, Lewis Dobbin in the under-23s that are doing well. But I just think the manager will go with Solomon Rondon again. I really, really do. He done okay against Villa. He done okay. He battled. He held the ball up well. He used his physicality. He used his structure well. Hopefully he can get a goal if he does start tomorrow and sort of, like I said, get his Everton career off to a goal scoring start. And then obviously I'm sure he'll be playing at the weekend against Norwich as well. But we'll wait and see. Look, one thing's for sure is that who knows what Rafa Benitez is going to do tomorrow. Our squad is very, very thin in regards to fitness and available players, and this will be a difficult game tomorrow. Tough test against a physical QPR side. The hope is that Everton can go out and get the win and be in the half of the next round, and I am confident that Everton will go out and get the win and be in the half of the next round as well. But I just hope that this game doesn't take too much out of the players, because I think there'll be a lot of players that feature tomorrow that'll have to feature against Norwich as well. So anyway, we'll wait and see. Let's get into the comments before we finish up then. Wamey says, is Rondon capable? He was struggling after 45 minutes. But we'll wait and see, won't we, mate? Philip says, true, mate. Sol says, Onyango still injured, broke his leg last season. I believe he did have a bad injury last season, so he is still trying to recover from that. Not a very dynamic midfield, though. Phil really would like to see Gbamin in there if he's fit. If he is fit, then I would. Philip says, geez, Cam, change your shirt. It's nothing to do with the shirt, mate. It's that my blinds are currently broken and I can't do anything about it. I really, really can't. I apologise about that. Same old Everton says, hello Cameron, hello my mate. Philip says, Gomez has been pretty solid over the past few times. Yeah. Sombrero says, QPR is terrible. I watched them the other day. They'll make it tough, they'll make it physical for Everton, so it's important that we can come out of it with a win. Wayne says, is he somewhere eating chocolate on a beach somewhere in Belgium, I feel? Don't know who we're talking about there. Amir says, I know Mr. Mashiri, who is Iranian like me. I have the biggest Everton channel in Iran. Is right, mate. Is right. What will happen to Hammers, says Amir? Looks like he could be on his way out. Don't envy Rafa's job at the moment, says Wayne. I agree. Absolutely. Wayne says, no, it's sound. We can just play in Kunku. Oh, no, we can't. Yeah. Sol says, Godfrey left back, Holgate, or Kenny right back. Interesting. Gabaman did have dental issues a couple of weeks ago, but I don't know whether that's still the same thing now. James says, alright, Cam, buzzing for tomorrow. Like Rafa said, each game at a time, mate. Lots of injuries, so yeah, same. Let's hope we can go out and get the 3 points. I keep saying the 3 points. Let's hope we can go out and get the win and progress into the next round of the cup, because ultimately that's all we want, isn't it? Anyway, look, we're gonna finish it up there then. No doubts that this will be a difficult game tomorrow. Big physical, tough test for Everton. But hopefully, like I said, we've got more than enough quality to get through it, and then to be able to, compete at a top level against Norwich at the weekend, because that'll be a difficult game for us as well. 2 big games coming up, hopefully 2 big wins as well. Massive thank you to everybody for watching. If you've watched in the live comments, big thanks to everybody for getting involved. Really do appreciate it. If you've enjoyed this one, please hit that like button. It does only take a second. And if you're new to the channel, don't forget to subscribe. If you're watching as a YouTube video, leave your thoughts in the comment section down below. We will get involved with as many of them as possible. As I said, don't forget to join us tomorrow for the instant match reaction and the player ratings directly after the game ends. We will be with you with them. So don't forget to subscribe to keep up to date with all of the latest stuff. Massive thanks for watching. Don't forget to check out our other streams today. We talked about James Rodriguez potentially leaving the football club, and we talked about Everton's 3-0 defeat to Aston Villa as well. Anyway, that is it for today. Massive thank you for watching. Really appreciate it. Leave a like if you've enjoyed, subscribe if you're new, and we'll see you soon on the Mighty Blues. Cheers for watching. See you after.